world of technology is really a double-edged sword. Now, while some of it is used for good, there is, of course, also sinister means. The latest prey is popular actress Rashmika Mandanna, whose deepfake video has gone viral on social media. Now, the original video is of a British woman named Zara Patel, who has a huge social media following and also had, of course, uploaded a video last month. Now, the Pushpa fame actor reacted to this deepfake and said that people needed to address this as a community since technology is being misused, she says. Now, earlier, even several other celebrities and other users on X and Instagram, including veteran actor Amitabh Bachchan, spotted the deepfake video and called for an urgent probe into the matter. Now, responding to this video, Minister of State Rajiv Chandrasekhar went on to even say that deepfakes are the latest and a more dangerous and damaging form of misinformation. And he says that this needs to be dealt with by the social media platforms itself. He also cited the legal obligations of social media platforms and even IT rules pertaining to digital deception. Now, as technology here continues to advance, and especially with the introduction of artificial intelligence, deepfakes, of course, are becoming more and more common on the internet. Now, these include pictures, there's audio, there's even videos that are constructed using deep learning technology. Now, while we look at all of this really unfold, how much of an impact is it having on, the people who are, of course, victims of such deepfakes? And while, of course, deepfakes in some cases are just made for fun, there is, of course, for entertainment as well. But this is something that while the person who has been deepfaked here expresses grave concerns, it's something that needs to be definitely looked into with a very, very keen eye. Now, to really discuss about this, joining us today is Kasturi Shankar, is an actor. We have Rex Anthony, is the founder and CEO at Rex Cyber Solution. He's a cyber expert as well. We also have Talish Ray, who's an advocate, who's joining us. We are going to speak to all of these guests who are with us to decipher really what are the pros and cons of AI, the latest technology that's really available, and also how to deal with such issues. But we also went out there on the street, spoke to the people about this, what they feel about such deepfakes being, circulated widely on social media. Let's first listen into some of these reactions from the public, and then I'll come back to the guests.
Video of Rashmika Mandanna being termed now as a deepfake video has drawn the ire of several Bollywood actors and others alike, and she has in fact gone on to now put out on her X account that she's thankful to have the support of her family and friends. Now, this raises a larger question of cyber security, of privacy, and most importantly, how videos like this have in fact become a very popular trend. Well, we're going to take this question straight across to a few women who are joining us today to talk to us. Hi, I want to ask you, we're seeing that there's a morphed video of Rashmika Mandanna, a very popular actor that's gone viral today. It's really most unfortunate. We're seeing actors like, Amitabh Bachchan too, who've come out and condemned this, seeking legal action. As a woman yourself, how safe do you feel today on the internet?
So cybercrime is on a rise, not just in India, but across the globe. It is a pertinent issue. And given the accessibility that people have, with their mobile phone cameras and whatnot, you never really know who's shooting you, recording you, and where, that content's being uploaded. So I feel that there has to be stringent regulations from the part of the government to, get to the source and to make sure that at least women who face a majority of these issues against them, that it's addressed and we are safe.
Only about a woman, any individual, they have the right of privacy, and all these upcoming apps, they should be having regulations. And also I feel that the legal team, they should come forward and there should be severe consequences for doing such an act. So any individual who is not open to share any video which they are not comfortable with, these kind of morph or forge videos should be banned, and high consequences should be taken against these.
I think strict action should be taken against this, and whoever did this should be punished. And I think it will affect society very badly, because then people will get the wrong idea. They will start using AI for the wrong things. They might start faking people's voices to get free stuff, or do anything bad.
At this point, when AI is being used in such ways, it's kind of disastrous, and that it shouldn't be, first of all, used. And we have to find out these criminals.
I guess it's all about the mindset of the people, and the more technology such will come, the more I guess we can't stop all this. So it's just that we should stay aware, and instead there is also one thing we can do is we can make this laws very strong.
It can create disturbance in society. It can hamper the person who physical mental state, and their family's also mental state, who that is being morphed. So yes, it should stop, and the law should take some action against this.
Well, let's open this up. Kasturi Shankar, you're an actor yourself. How do you really look at this? Because when I read Rashmika Mandanna's tweet, she says she's really hurt to share this. And more importantly, says today there is a lot of support that's there from her family, friends. But, you know, if it was a few years earlier, she wouldn't probably know how to deal with it. Now, while, of course, deepfake sometimes is used as entertainment, but this is a classic example where it has probably crossed the line.
You know, in the olden days, we used to have gossip columns where gossip used to be written, completely fictional stuff linking, you know, two people or casting aspersions. And usually the target of this were public female celebrities. Why? Because everybody thought it was their right to use their name and likeness in libel or slander. But today it's gotten so much worse, because now you can have an absolutely convincing video put out using somebody's face. Because, I mean, see, Rashmika Mandanna's face is available on the public domain. Various expressions, various situations are available. So you can take something and make such a shocking video. I'm trembling as I speak to you, because today Rashmika's video was exposed as a deepfake because the source material was readily available. It was traceable. Not everybody is that lucky. We have seen politicians get into so-called stink traps where they are caught in compromising positions. Look at what's going to happen. Anybody with a political adversary is going to end up having a porn video let out of them, and then they're going to have to, how are they going to even disprove it? Number one. And number two, if in fact there is a real video, see, truth will lose its value because there's so many fakes around. That's what we're looking at, where we are going to end up, Tagore once said, where the clear stream of reason has lost its way in the dreary desert sand of dead habit. We are going to get into the habit of seeing so much untruth around us that truth is going to be difficult to find. People who are caught on video taking rishwat can easily come out and say, no, that's a deepfake video. I mean, I tremble, I worry to think today the Israel-Palestine conflict is going on.
And it has happened multiple times.
What happens tomorrow? Deepfake videos coming out. You can have an entire war started on the basis of this kind of stuff. It is incredibly dangerous. And the most dangerous thing of this is it's anonymous. Everybody is talking. As a lawyer, as somebody who went to law school for 3 years, I'll tell you this. No country in the world, including USA, including Russia, where all this started, where the technology started, they don't have a clue. There are no laws governing deepfake perpetrators. There are a few states in the US which have banned sharing deepfake videos. But how does the sharer know? How would I know what I'm sharing? I'll share in good faith. So that's not going to be the solution. And we can never find the perpetrator. Social media crimes or cyber crimes are so difficult.
Okay. Since you were talking about, you know, I'll bring in Talish Ray, because let's bring in a legal perspective, because you are talking about how, you know, these people are anonymous, difficult to really identify who they are. What's the recourse really available with the common man, with celebrities? Let's find out. Talish, how do you really look at an incident like this? We had Big B himself say that probably the legal recourse is something that needs to be looked at in this particular case. What are the options really in front of the public? Even the viewers who are watching would want to know if something like this happened to them. Who do they go to? How do they really, you know, tackle the situation?
Right. Thank you so much for bringing this up. And Kasturi, I really do feel your pain. I mean, this is not something that anybody has to go through, let alone women who are out in the public spaces and are upheld as models of certain decorum and conduct by a younger generation. So when I look at something like this, there are a couple of thoughts that occur. One, we are living in the post-truth world. So therefore, let us talk about what are the rights that we have. Now, so far as the rights according to law go, then, of course, there is the right to privacy that has been read into our fundamental rights. But along with that, there is also IT Act. So you have Section 66, which which talks about it, but more pertinently, Section 66 that talks about it, which says punishment for violation of privacy, which under which a deepfake could be covered if you sort of extend that. More importantly, you also have certain amount of guidelines that have been brought about in terms of, there is a guideline that was issued in January, if I'm not incorrect, wherein the Honorable Ministry had said that, there is a certain amount of intermediary liability that is read from the intermediary liability rules. Now, other than that, there is also the Consumer Act, because recently, Honorable Justice Pratibha Singh passed an entire order which she talked about technology manipulation. This was the order which involved the cine actor Anil Kapoor's voice that had been used without his permission. But so basically, there is a lot of reverberation of this that we are seeing in courts. But let's also try and understand what happens here. Now, assuming that there is a point at which a deepfake is sort of created, and deepfake is not exactly that new. There has been a lot of talk about the manipulation right around from 2018 when it took the shape of something which was fun. We saw these face apps that came in, we took old photographs and you could see their eyes moving around. And a lot of us who work in this field were very apprehensive, because any technology actually or any development can always be taken in a very positive sense to its logical conclusion. But in a negative sense, it's often always taken to an illogical conclusion. And that's a kind of illogical thing that we are seeing wherein there is absolutely no need for this content to be done except to shrink a woman who's fairly successful in the public domain, to shrink her space. But be that as it may, so there is also the Criminal Act that will come in, which will talk about bullying in a public space. It will talk about, her modesty being outraged. However, the problem that arises with all of these laws is twofold. One, technology is moving faster. We have to find a method of legal development, whether it is by a board, whether it's by a constant advisory, whether it is by a public policy body that is constantly ready, because technology is moving at the pace of lightning. Now, in a democracy, lawmaking cannot be a process that can be done without consultation. And that within its very nature calls for a certain amount of time by which the technology is already morphed into a different place. So that's a challenge that we are facing in the policy space, in the lawmaking space. The challenge that is there for a person who goes through this. Now, even after the intermediary where it was hosted has pushed it down or pulled it down, what happens is that
that's where the concern lies. People already are wary about how the judicial system works, the amount of time it takes, the toil that they have to go through. And now with issues like this, which probably is not yet probably well understood in the legal space itself, for people to really go to court, how quick can there be a solution to it is the question that comes up. I'll also bring in Rex here. Rex Anthony, he's a cyber expert himself. Rex, when you look at this, we just spoke about the option after a deepfake is made for a person, of course, who's a victim. Can somebody really prevent it in today's age, considering the fact that so many videos and images of every individual is out there on social media platforms?
Okay, Deepak, I just want to address one thing. Like, when you come into digital, so you own anything. You own anything. So that's first we need to understand. And second, when I talk about deepfake, right? So we already shared enormous data. So whether we are using multiple social medias, we are sharing data everywhere. So these are used for these kind of deepfakes and algorithms, training and every places. So whether we can prevent it, if you ask me, I'm sorry to say we have no option on that as of now. We are not able to prevent it. But what we can do, if something comes up in terms of technology, yes, we can control it. We have such power now. But that need to be taken more of legal actions into that. But now we luckily have a certain laws and obligations which is given to social medias to controlling the spreading, as well as that now we have 36 hours the social medias and other medias as to take down these kind of images if it is requested by legal actions. So those things are currently available. But
Well,
what
for
we
a
need to
video
look
like
at,
this, which goes so viral so quickly, especially of popular actors, waiting for hours together to bring it down, and somebody else uploads it from another account, and it's as simple as that. So the suffering, of course, continues for anybody who's a victim to it. But more, you know what, we'll delve into that, because we had Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar say that the social media platforms themselves should take onus. I'll discuss more about that. But Rex, give us and our viewers a little bit of perspective into deepfakes. How are they really created? What sort of technology do you really need? Can somebody really sitting on their system back at home, and can anybody create this? Because is there a particular software that can be tracked, or can somewhere can be looked into by the police officials? Explain a little more about deepfake as a technology in itself.
Okay, so to make it more simply to understand everybody, deepfake at present technology level, anybody can make it because the source is available online. Anybody can make it. But whether we can trace back to it, yes, there are possibilities we can able to trace back it. There are certain tools available in MIT research lab that we can able to trace back. If you ask me, it is there. So what nuances we need to look at? So how the deep fake is created? The technology has been developing for so long time, and if you see from the 2013 and 14 and 15. We have been introduced into a lot of face filters. You might be remembering that. So after that, what happens? We getting a lot of face avatars. We are getting a lot of face changing apps, and we are reaction apps. So these apps are studying your face patterns, and these are little nuances and your micro expressions, your macro expressions. When you're smiling, you will getting a lot of wrinkles here and the changes. These apps are studying those data. They have collected those data. With those informations only, they are developing next level of application, which we are seeing currently now. So these previously, I think two years before, if I'm not wrong, we are getting the face changing apps, which is similar to a kind of a advanced level of Photoshop, I can say. But now we have the ability with the AI enabled. We can replace anybody's face from anywhere. Even I can replace this live feed. If you ask me that, I can change your face into someone else without any reflections or any doubt. You can get it. Even in that can be done. Your voice can be changed. Your entire digital identity can be taken away from you. The worst thing is, even if you lose your social media accounts, then you are in the very, very bad situation, I can say, because you lose your identity already in your face level, your voice level, and even if you lose your accounts, that's going to be a very, very miserable situation for you. So these can be at present.
Okay, Kasturi Shankar, we were just earlier mentioning about how social media platforms should look into such issues, take onus. We had the minister himself say something similar. Now, how do you really look at a situation like this? Do you think that, these massive social media platforms, of course, who gain so much out of celebrities, somewhere should ensure that the privacy of celebrities, or if their image is being tarnished in a way, especially through deep fakes, should be very swift in ensuring that they bring it down? Because the window that they really say that, the time frame is quite big. And for a celebrity, you just need a couple of hours before the video goes absolutely viral.
See, I think
one second,
that
can complete it.
That was for Kasturi. I'll come back to you, Rex. I'll just come back to you.
Go ahead.
Kasturi, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I have 4 points to say in connection to your question. Number one, social medias, by the very definition of social media, they don't create the content. They just give you a platform to share your content. It's the equivalent. It's the digital equivalent of
but they do
having
have the
an
power
auditorium.
to bring it down.
The auditorium, the hall construction company is not responsible for what people go inside the auditorium and speak about. So really, that doesn't make much sense. Yes, they can cooperate to take it down, but they can't stop people from uploading many material, because it's the people that are doing it. The social media is fed by the people. And again, this is only for probably platforms like Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. What about peer-to-peer social media? The biggest misinformation is on platforms like WhatsApp and Just Social. What do you do with that? It's peer to peer. There's no way that you can even find out what people are talking behind your back, because it's not really for in your purview. Number one. So number two, yes, they can take it down. And as you said, the damage is already done. Regardless of how many times you take something down, there will be some part of the internet where you can find it again and again and again, because lies never die on the internet and truth is completely forgotten. Now, even if they take it down, the flip side of that is every time there is a legal request, let's say Twitter takes down a post, Facebook takes down a post, complies with a police request or a legal request. Now, tomorrow, there will be real videos that people in power will want out of their, out of the internet. And these are real videos. So how do you prove? Just a legal request is not going to be enough. And with India, a legal request will take 3 days to get registered. If you start on a Friday, it will only come in front of a judge on Monday afternoon, and then it will take 15 years for us to get a resolution on it. It's a joke. So legal recourse and acquiescing to legal requests, at least in the Indian context, it's a joke. And then the third thing with celebrities, people, we don't forget about deepfake. We have rumor mongers, YouTubers right now. That's a trending thing, right? YouTubers talking 19 to a dozen, all fictional gossip about celebrities. And that's how they make their money. Hundreds of lakhs of people follow them and lap up all the gossip that they talk.
Okay, that's another concern. I agree with you. All of these, of course, need to be looked into. I want to bring in quickly, as I'm running short of time on the show. I want to have certain points covered. I want to bring in Talesh Ray once again and ask you about the IT rules that the minister was trying to remind social media platforms about.
So I think
in the past as well, there have of course been controversial videos. There have been, of course, controversial videos that have been put up on social media platforms. It has gone to court as well, where the argument that they have put out is what earlier was spoken about. And in fact, we had Kasturi just mentioned that social media platforms are merely places where people put up their content. It's not these platforms that put it up. So, Talesh, I really want to ask you, what do the IT rules exactly say about this? How much of the onus is really lying on the part of the platforms to bring down such content?
No, there is a lot of onus, because they're under the IT rules, intermediary liability rules. Then these intermediaries not pull it down, they are liable to be punished. But there are a couple of things that need to be kept in mind. Number one, an intermediary is not just an echo chamber or a hall. Please remember, the intermediary is actually making product of making money of the information that is shared. So for example, if a reel is shared, Instagram is also getting advertising for it. So therefore, that is how the liability has been fixed. So there is liability. It tends to, typically they are given any time between 24 to 48 hours to pull it down. But as Kasturi rightly pointed, it is enough for a material to exist for even 10 minutes. It can mirror out. Having said that, I would also like to respectfully submit here that the government cannot abdicate its responsibility by saying, hey, you're the intermediary, take it down, and you should follow the rules. Because they, in any system of governance, as technology comes in, there has to be governance. And it almost always seems impossible at the face of it. We've heard it throughout centuries that, oh, it's going to be so difficult, how do we do it? But there has to be a system of mechanism by the government in order to protect the rights of its citizens. Now, here is a case where there is somebody's right to privacy which has been completely infringed. And the government can't just say that, oh, the intermediaries are responsible. They have to set up a mechanism where they go out, look at where is it that it's coming in from, because these are also very well organized rings. It's not just your average person who's sitting and making. They may make it one off or two off. But there are other places where it is being done at a regular basis in order to drive content, in order to also sometimes a lot of these deep fake videos.
Right. Talish, I want another aspect covered quickly before we come to a conclusion. And I want to bring in Rex Anthony once again. And I'm requesting my director to put out a two-window of the original and the deep fake. And Rex, I want you to explain to us and probably tell our viewers, when they do come across videos, they think that something is wrong. How do they really differentiate between the original and deep fakes? What are the things to really look at? How is there any giveaway really in such videos? Could you please explain, as these visuals are now on our screens?
Great. There are 8 steps you can think about it. One is that how their face changes. Is there any mismatches? Is there? That is one. And second, how the face reactions are changing. So if you see, is there any brushing, that more Photoshop level of things are there? And next to that, you can look at it. How the face lighting and their surroundings lightings are changing. You can see the differences. So these are the very basics you can look at it. But the worst thing is AI is now helping that to correct it. But we can use MIT search labs to solve these problems. So the immediate thing you have to look at is that how the face reactions are there, how the reflections and lightings are there. These are the immediate things you can look at on these images and to identify that whether it's original or a fake.
But in the video that we are looking at now, Rex, it seems like, the people who've done it are probably experts in this. You hardly make out any sort of difference.
Yeah, and the algorithms are now very much advanced, and the concern is that even any common man, if they're able to access the codes available in the online, they can able to reproduce it. The main agenda is that whether you can able to trace back it or not. Yes, we can trace back it. There is no anonymous. Maybe it may take some time, but it can be traced back and they can be identified. The perpetrator can be identified. So there is no escaping here. So that we need to understand. And if you're resharing it, if it is an abusive video or an image, anything, you will be punishable. So that we need to make sure that we need to educate people on this, how we have to be more morally react to these kind of videos or images into that. We have to be have more decorum into it, and we have to be have a moral in our every activities. That we need to keep it. And the government side, we need to look at.
Thank you, Rex, for bringing us that perspective. I thank Kasturi Shankar, also Talish Ray as well, for joining us and giving us your point of views. We are going to slip into a quick break on that note. Some more news coming up on the other side, where there was a brutal murder, of course, of a government official. Finally, the police seem to have cracked that case. We're giving you more updates on that after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.